Welcome back to Sous Vide Everything, guys. Today is our very first episode of Myth Busting. The internet has a lot of theories and myths about crispy chicken. And if you enjoyed this episode, let us know in the comments down below because we will make a series out of it. Just make sure you put your comments down below. And our very first episode is going to be about boiling water and crispy chicken. Is that good? Is that really just a myth? There's only one way to find out if that actually works, and that's to do it. Check it out. I started off with chicken thighs. I believe they are perfect for this experiment because they provide two things: the skin and a good amount of fat underneath. And to be honest, they just taste way better than chicken breast. However, if the theory is right, this should work just as good with chicken breast. And to test this theory correctly, I'm first going to split them in two batches. One of them we're going to be using the boiling water method and the other one we're not. That way we can really tell and see if this method really works. Now, no one likes chicken without seasoning. And for me at least, the best one is Guga's rub. By the way, you cannot buy this rub, you gotta make it yourself. I have a whole video on showing you how to do it. It's easy and you already have all the ingredients at home. Whenever you're seasoning chicken, make sure you season it well. I only season the meat side and never the skin. I believe if you season the skin, you will prevent it from getting crispy. And because Guga's rub has a little bit of sugar, it might also burn. So always try to avoid seasoning the skin. When I was done with the rub, you can see almost every single part was covered and they were ready to be cooked sous vide. But before that, we gotta run our experiment. And here's the theory. The first thing we need to do is to boil some water. Then you want to turn skin side up. The next thing to do is to throw the boiling water right on top, and when you do, this is what happens. Sometimes it just works better than others. If your skin just shrinks up, it's okay. But I mean, if it curls up something like this, it's absolutely ridiculous. There's no way that that's gonna be good. But hey, we gotta run this experiment and find out. And supposedly it makes a very crispy skin. I'm not quite sure about the science behind it, but it's supposed to make it really crispy. I do have my doubts. After getting all of them treated, the next thing to do is to put them in the bag. Once they're all bagged up, just seal them and get them ready for sous vide. Talking about that, I'm gonna be cooking all of them in the same container at 167 degrees Fahrenheit for 2 hours. And I can't wait to find out if this actually works. Once the 2 hours had elapsed, I quickly took them out, get them out of the bag, put them on the cooling rack, and this is what they look like. This is the one that had boiling water. It still feels firm. The skin has now stuck to the meat. And this is our control. Right away, you can tell the color of the skin is completely different. It's also firm, and the skin is very attached to the meat. Now, there's many different ways for you to sear a chicken, and I want to give it a shot to as many as possible. Whether you like to use a torch, pan sear it, bake it in the oven, we're going to test them out to find out which one is best. And my very first is going to be the torch. This might be one of the worst, but it's also the fastest and the most convenient. The key is to keep the torch moving. The last thing you want is for it to burn, and by keeping it moving, you will gradually crisp up that skin. And here we have our control, which was not boiled. I can tell you right away that the skin is very rubbery, and if we're talking about crispy skin, this is far away from it. And here we have the boiled one, and to my surprise, the skin is really attached to the meat, way better than the control. As I pull it completely back, you can see that the skin is way thinner. That is a good thing. After sticking them in the oven for 10 minutes in the broiler, this is what they look like. As you can see already, it's way better than the torch. Just visually, it looks awesome, and you can tell right away that the skin is much crispier. And here we have our control, aka not boiled. The skin is completely attached to the meat, but the top is a little bit soft and soggy. It's not as crispy as I want it. And here we have the boiling water one, and I'm not quite sure if you can hear that, but check it out. It is way drier, and even though it's not as dark, it is crispy. And to my surprise, it just feels way better than the regular traditional one. This is probably my favorite way to finish up sous vide chicken. Just put a little bit of oil in the pan and let it sear. To ensure it has full contact, I like to put a weight on top. Now we want the fat to render, so don't keep your heat too high, just enough to get it crispy. Usually takes anywhere between 2 to 3 minutes. But to keep things even, I gave each one 2 minutes for searing, and that's it. And once I was done, this is what they look like. And here we have the one that was boiled, and I hope you can hear this. It's nice and crispy, and exactly what I'm looking for when searing chicken. Even though they were seared for the exact same time, the exact same heat,
This one got a little burned. And if I touch the skin, yeah, it's a little crispy, but not like the other one. But in the edges, as you can see, it's not 100%. It's good, but it's not perfect. But the important thing, as always, is the taste test. And the first one is the one with boiling water. And as I take it apart, it just breaks. It's so crispy that it cannot hold itself together. And when I take a bite, oh, yes. This is awesome. And it tastes really good. And our control one, to my surprise, is not even close to as crispy. Even though it's more burned, you can clearly see that it's still a little bit rubbery. When I turn it around, you can see the edges are not good.
And that's the result. Can you actually believe that putting boiling water on top of your chicken skin actually makes it crispy and it works? I mean, I was a little skeptical, but after the results are in, it is a fact. I hope you guys give it a try at home. Now, if you do have any more suggestions about myth or theories of the internet, make sure you put it on the comments down below, because I want to see it and make a video about it so that we can all share our knowledge. Or just a terrible fail. Anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you do enjoy it, make sure you give it a thumbs up. If you're not a subscriber, be sure to subscribe for future videos. Remember, if you are interested in anything I use, everything is always in the description down below for you. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you guys on the next one. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.